Once again to the weekly update with Kyle Johansson and the mayor. Kyle, I was just walking around, went to Baker Center earlier, like around noonish or so, and it's pleasant outside.
Despite all the windy conditions.
Despite yesterday was chilly.
It was.
Today is less than chilly, but this is that season when weather's kind of all over the place.
Yeah, spring.
7 days. What's it going to look like over the next 7 days?
So today we got a mix of clouds and sun with gusty winds, high at 57. Winds west-northwest at 20 to 30 miles an hour. Higher wind gust possible. Tonight we got clear skies, low of 22. North-northwest winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour, decreasing to less than 5 miles an hour. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, high 46, low 26. Friday, partly cloudy skies, high of 67, low 43. Saturday, morning clouds, followed by afternoon sun, high of 50, low 26. Sunday, sunny skies, high of 56, low 34. Monday, partly the mostly cloudy skies, high of 66, low 44. Next Tuesday, showers, high of 63, low of 44. And next Wednesday, showers, high of 62, low of 39. In sports, the basketball tournaments are done, but they did have a good MAC tournament season. They won against West Michigan, almost 30 points, but they lost by 3 against Akron on Friday. And baseball won 2 of the 3 games against Kansas State Friday and Saturday, and lost against Kansas State on Sunday. And they lost against Morehead State last night. And then the spring football game is April 20th at 11 o'clock in the morning. And hard to believe we are just about 5 months away to football season again. And then 2.5 months till Copperhead season starts up. And so, like, during the spring game season stuff, it's the solar eclipse. So, speaking of the solar eclipse, we are now just about a week away till preparation week. So, if you don't have your glasses now, get them because they're expecting to be having shortages, and there's going to be gas shortages throughout Ohio as well because of the traffic. And there'll be a lot of traffic throughout Athens County. So, they just said this morning that more than 85% of schools are already closed for the eclipse.
They are closing. I know Athens State schools are closed, right?
Alexander and Trimble.
Alexander, Trimble, Nelsonville, York, do we know?
They're making their final decision this week right now.
Oh, I'm sure they will. All right, cool. Thank you, Kyle. And I did note that for basketball, we were like number 3.
Number 3 in the seed.
But we lost in number 2, correct?
Yeah, it was a good game. Nail biter.
Yeah.
That's what you call it. Nail biter game.
Yeah, well, I still have all my nails, but I didn't watch it. A couple of things I want to bring to people's attention, and that being we've heard from people who felt that they were going to be charged for the new bins that Rumpke is going to be deploying. That is not true. You're not going to be charged. There is no additional charge for carts that Rumpke is going to start distributing to our residents throughout the city. So just to clear that up, they will be sending out a flyer and posting on social media something similar to that, to where there is no additional charge on your bill for the carts that are going to be going out there. Herald Drive, this is, I know that West Union, there's been a lot of unfortunate events that have taken place with the construction project down there. What you're looking at is the most recent update of traffic changes in that area. Herald Drive from Davison Court, our new street, to West Union will be one direction to West Union, and then Herald Drive from Davison Court to West State Street, it will be two-way, but the traffic is only going to flow in a southerly direction to West Union along Herald Drive. And of course, Davison Court will be two-way as it is a court. So keep that in mind. We will continue to push out changes in traffic circulation in that corridor And it's important to note that drives for businesses are being maintained for all the businesses along there as construction will commence on the major water line replacement in the West Union Street corridor. Recycling days and tire drop-off events that are coming up this spring. There you go, right in front of you. Magically, as the government channel pushes stuff out there for you. A lot of information to make sure everyone's clear on, excuse me. The Athens County Recycling Day is going to be April 20th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the fairgrounds. You can see right there the different items that are acceptable and free, a whole sundry of things on there. And then there's items that are accepted for a fee, things like flat screen TVs, tube TVs, fluorescent bulbs, compact bulbs, all of those do have a charge associated with them. And tires do as well. Tires with rims, $4. Tires without rims are 50 cents, with a limit of 10 tires per vehicle pulling in to drop things off. Hocking County is also going to have a recycling day, so worth mentioning, this is going to be at their fairgrounds, and that is Saturday, May 18th. So keep that in mind. There will be at Federal Hocking School, high school rather, which is off of State Route 144. It's going to be on June 1st in Stewart. And then on June 8th at the Albany Independent Fairgrounds, that's at 5201 Washington Street in Albany, they will also be doing a tire drop-off. So if you're interested in dropping them off, same rules apply. 50 cents a tire, $4 with the rims. It must be cash or check only. And tires must be free of all liquids. And then Hocking County also is doing things, but I'm not going to speak to those. The Athens Poet Laureates Pawpaw Poetry Anthology. I've spoken about this before. They are hoping to get the citizens of Athens to participate in this new curated pawpaw poetry anthology. Kind of interesting. So if you're interested, they're doing a call for poems. The poems, you can send 1 to 3 poems inspired by our beloved pawpaw fruit, the only native fruit in the state of Ohio, recognized by the state. And the deadline is April 22nd, so that's coming.
Earth Day.
Earth Day. That's just days away.
Yeah, just about a month.
Formatting, Word document with 12-point New Times Roman, New Roman font, Times New Roman font. And the tentative release date is scheduled for April 15th for these poems. So if you're interested, reach out to Kendrick at Athens Poet Laureate 4, the number 4, at gmail.com if you are a poet or a wannabe poet and you want to write about our beloved pawpaws. Have a ball. Something I just received, and that is celebrating the new mini mobile clinic through HCOM, the Heritage College of Osteopathic Medicine. They are having an event from 9:30 to 11 a.m. With remarks and tour and after remarks. This is going to be at the community center at 701 East State Street. Again, March 27th from 9:30 to 11 a.m. Come check out their new mobile clinic. Should be pretty interesting. I will be there. Another week of events that's coming out as quickly is International Week here in the city of Athens, April 1st through the 7th. The International Student Union has put together quite the agenda. Flags on the Green will be 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the College Green. That's going to be April 1st, April Fool's Day. April 2nd is going to be the International Ice Cream Social, and this will be at Baker Center at 12 to 1:30. Wednesday, International Tea Tasting, 2 to 4, also at Baker Center. Again, that is Wednesday the 3rd. April 4th, which is a Thursday, World Language Showcase, which is from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. in Baker Center front room. And then Friday is the 12th World Music and Dance Concert. This is 7:30 to 9 p.m. at the Templeton Blackburn Alumni Memorial Auditorium. Saturday is our beloved International Street Fest. That will be in the vicinity of Howard Hall Park and East Union Street. And there's all kinds of things going on that whole week. So please check it out. A full week of International Week events hosted by Ohio University's International Student Union. I mentioned this at council the other night, and that being that we have been recognized yet again as a Tree City USA, which is great. I am blanking on how many years it is. I think 34, maybe 35 years. We've been recognized as a Tree City USA, so always good news. Some upcoming meetings. We've got the Athens Commission on Disabilities, and that'll be this evening at the Community Center at 5:30. So if you're interested, come by. Those are open meetings, and check them out. Recreation Advisory Board will be meeting tomorrow evening in council chambers here at 5:30. And then City Council will be meeting March 25th at 7 p.m. here in council chambers. Monday night, I had the opportunity to brief City Council on my partner city mission over to Austro-Ukraine, which is in the Rivne Oblast. And Ryan has asked me earlier if I'd like to quickly go through some of these slides again, and I emphatically said yes. So I was over in Ukraine from the 17th to the 24th of February. And along the way, I spent 2 days, during that trip, I spent 2 days in Lviv, the second largest city in Ukraine, and got to engage with the administrators and the staff at a hospital there that has become the epicenter for traumatic amputation and prosthetic and training with prosthetics, called a hospital called Unbroken Rehabilitation Hospital. And there you see me in a couple of pictures with the administration, the hospital director, as well as one of the lead administrators, another administrator for Unbroken Hospital. Fascinating trip to get to see this newer facility and how they're treating not only defenders of the invasion, but also citizens who have been impacted, and trying to continue to establish relationships with Unbroken and possibly Oblenis Hospital, Ohio Health, and the Heritage College of Osteopathic Medicine. I also had the opportunity to visit a major cemetery called the Fields of Mars in Lviv. The images on the top of the screen are of that particular cemetery, and it's a newer portion of the cemetery where individuals who lost their lives defending their nation from February 24th of 2022 to the present, there was over 600 defenders interned in this particular cemetery. And keep in mind that there are thousands of cemeteries across the nation. This is one of many where fallen defenders have been interned, and I had the opportunity to lay a bouquet of flowers on the most recent soldier or defender who was buried there. And then on the bottom two images was another important visit to a monument called the Monument to the Heavenly 100 Heroes. These are the individuals who lost their lives in 2014 during the Revolution of Dignity in Kiev, where over 107 individuals were killed who were fighting for independence of Ukraine and ultimately succeeding, but not without individuals paying the ultimate sacrifice. And they themselves were not defenders. They were protesters that lost their lives. But it was another important event for me to experience while in country. From Lviv, I traveled down to Rivne, which is the capital of the Rivne Oblast, which is basically a province or a state, if you will, in Ukraine, which is also the oblast in which our partner city, Ostro, is located. Engaged with the governor's cabinet, just several pictures of engaging. I was able to give to them the state flag of Ohio, obviously, in this image in the bottom, to the governor's cabinet member. And it was a wonderful exchange of how we can partner not just with our partner city, but also throughout the Rivne Oblast. And in the lower right-hand corner is an image of the Rivne town square, where they have displayed all of the defenders who have lost their lives, who have come from the city of Rivne to fight at the Eastern Front. From there, went down to Ostro. Ostro, again, is our partner city through the U.S. Agency on International Development and their counterpart, which is Havela. Havela is, like I said, the equivalent of USAID. And in the image, several of these images is Mayor Yuri Yehudka, who is the mayor of Ostro, and the upper left-hand corner is giving comments and speaking with many of the city council members. Their city council is comprised of 36 city council members in comparison to Athens' 7, plus 1 being the president. And Mayor Yehudka is the president of council as well as mayor of the city. And there we are laying a wreath at a monument that is dedicated to defenders who lost their lives from Ostro fighting on the Eastern Front, to where during my time there, I experienced 2 funeral processions. There was a third one that I attended near Lviv. But Ostro, unto itself, having a population of 15,000, has lost 102, at that point in time, 102 members of their community who were students or parents or grandparents fighting to preserve their nation's freedom on the Eastern Front. Most cities and villages in Ukraine have volunteer centers, and those volunteer centers are where people spend as much time, free time, as they possibly can, helping the defenders on the Eastern Front by making things like camouflage netting, which is in the lower left-hand corner of this slide, or helping make what are referred to as trench candles. Trench candles are these tin cans that have cardboard coiled up inside them with a wick, and they pour paraffin wax in. Those are things that the defenders on the Eastern Front have been requesting, both the camouflage netting and these trench candles for warmth as well as light at night in the trenches that they are fighting from. And in the upper right-hand corner is a T-shirt that I had made. Zones custom made that, which I took over and gave to individuals at the volunteer center, as well as the Passion Works flower that was custom made that I also gave to the volunteer center, which is in the upper left-hand corner. These individuals in that upper left-hand photo, again, are volunteers. A lot of them have spouses who are currently fighting on the Eastern Front, and in some cases have lost loved ones on the Eastern Front, a spouse, a relative, or a neighbor. So it was quite moving and meaningful for me to be able to be there and meet with all of them. I spent a full day at the Austro Academy, which is the first institution of higher ed in all of Ukraine. It was established in 1576. And during our planning for that event to engage with the Austro Academy, I asked to have a discussion with students who are interested in learning more about Athens and the way in which we govern. And the university was able to pull together about 50 to 60 students. And just as our meeting was about ready to start, the air raid sirens went off, and we had to move into an underground air raid shelter, which is what you see in the upper left-hand corner of this slide, which was a crypt underneath a former Jesuit monastery that is on the campus grounds, and proceeded to engage, meet with the students that were in there. Again, about 60 of us all huddled together while the air raid sirens were going on up above, with potential threat for an air raid. The lower right-hand corner is the senior administration for Austro Academy, as well as, again, Mayor Yuri Yahudka and one of the assigned translators. And then there was a kind of a history room at the Austro Academy, and I'm sitting at a table and signing with a quill pen, using an inkwell, a guest book that they asked me to sign, and I did so, which was a lot of fun. Spent half a day at a lyceum, or an elementary school outside of Austro. Learned an awful lot with the students as well as the principal, which this principal is in the upper right-hand corner of the lyceum. And what she is showing me in her hand is a box of chocolates that has been rigged with explosives and a detonator, as is the basketball and the stuffed animal that are in the lower portion of this slide, that Russian soldiers are deploying throughout neighborhoods with the thought that Ukrainian children would pick these up and play with them and they would explode, which was rather shocking to me while I was there. And so they're training kids not to touch anything that they see that might be tantalizing in neighborhoods surrounding them. The upper left-hand picture is their heritage and culture room, which was really quite a treat to be able to understand through the lenses of the students at the Lyceum about their culture and heritage. And the young gentleman that you see in the white shirt was explaining to me the significance of the embroidered shirts and some of the tablecloths and napkins that culturally that they have created that have meaning to Ukraine and in particular to Austro. The sad thing is that when we left the room, one of the teachers informed me that young gentleman that I was engaging with lost his father just 6 days prior to my speaking and spending time with him, which was really quite moving. Some more images from the Lyceum itself. Lyceum has a forestry club. Got to spend time with the forestry club. I also was able to bring over with me a pound of pawpaw seeds that the forestry club is going to germinate and in the future start planting around the school to create their own pawpaw grove within Austro. And you see me in the upper right-hand corner of this slide helping them plant small fir trees or conifers, at least getting the starts going, which was a lot of fun, as well as in the lower right-hand pitcher. I engaged with another class, and that class was teaching me how to make herbal teas, much like they do in Austro. So I walked away with my own little sash of herbal tea from that. And then in the upper left-hand corner, just as we walked into the school, we were greeted by a group of students who proceeded to do a dance and singing performance for myself and the detail that accompanied me on the trip, which was quite the greeting and a lot of fun. Visited with a lot of businesses while in Austro, everything from a state-of-the-art wood manufacturing company, which is in the right upper and lower portion of the slide, to the farmer's market in the middle, and an eco farm / eco tourism facility in the left-hand side of this image, which is a lot of fun. The eco village and farm is designed with the thought of creating a place of respite for defenders when they are not defending their country on the Eastern Front. So a very, very engaging group of people, a lot of good information for me to understand and to share with businesses and entities here in Athens and Athens County. The trip, near the end of the trip, we had an unveiling of a what's called a stela in their town square. Excuse me. And meeting with, again, the mayor, doing the unveiling. And then also they drew my attention to something I didn't notice in their city park, and that being this mileage directional sign where they had included Athens and how many kilometers it was from Austro to Athens, Ohio. So a very meaningful event to be there, very ceremonial in the unveiling of the stela. And then in the lower lower right-hand corner of this slide was one of the several funeral processions that I experienced while I was there in Austro and in Ukraine. And the upper image is a newly opened facility for battered women, physically abused women, where it gives them safe haven and a place to recuperate and psychological services. So it was very informative to learn more about how it operates and what they're doing and how they're providing for their community members who are being unduly harmed in their own community. And finally, I was there on the 24th of February. 24th of February was the 2-year mark for the full-scale invasion by Russia. It was a very ceremonial rally where Mayor Yehudka and myself were both able to make some remarks to a rather large gathering of people. About 300 or 400 people came for this event, as well as military, police, and EMS members that were at that event. And then the image in the lower left-hand corner is a book that they maintain the record of all fallen defenders that were from the Austro community, which, as I indicated, was at that point when I was there, was 102 individuals had perished fighting for the defense of their country. That is it with the PowerPoint presentation. And again, my time over there in Austro engaging with our partner city. Kyle, thank you for joining me. And hopefully you will all tune in again next week for the next installment of the Weekly Update with Kyle Johansson and the Mayor. Take care.